Wow, well, Texas sure looks a lot different than it used to be. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Zukradowski here of WeAreChange.org, and I think it's pretty clear the days of the old are definitely not coming back, as there have been a lot of major institutional changes to our mainline society that we will be arguing are not for the best, as of course we have a lot of very tumultuous situations unfolding right now, especially with the authority figures that have sold you down the river to foreign countries, globalists, and banksters that of course are having their way with you. But that doesn't mean you can't have just even a little bit of fun, like we do here almost every single day, breaking down all the latest news that happened today on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was done by, of course, the one and only Savannah Hernandez, independent journalist that covered the latest protests happening in Austin, Texas, where some protesters set off smoke and rode around in horses in support of a ceasefire right now in the Middle East. So yeah, if you get a chance, definitely go check her out, and we will be linking her YouTube channel down in the description below. All of this as things have started to boil over and crack open, just like the land right now in Iceland, as that country prepares for what could be a major volcanic event that many scientists are preparing for, a situation that could disrupt travel between Europe and the United States, and of course have some severe effects for the local populations in the region, highlighting a major ecological possible disaster, as of course here in the United States we have human disasters created by politicians that now are trying to cover up their negligence for the totalitarian leader of the Chinese government that, of course, will soon be arriving in San Francisco, California, where the streets there look a little bit more tidied up than what they previously were beforehand, as, of course, even the hypocritical double standard governor of that state just even announced, yeah, we pretty much did this. We cleaned up for Z because we have to look good in front of our communist overlords. He didn't really just say that. This is exactly what he said.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true. But it's also true for months and months and months prior to APEC, we've been having different conversations.
Oh, fellow political criminals? Yeah, we'll clean up for that. The average citizen, they could just go to hell, as of course. It's important to note here that Gavin Newsom also recently had a trip to China as the governor of California, which of course many people expect to be waiting in the wings for a potential 2024 presidential election run, as there are some online commentators saying that it's, quote, incredibly stupid if they underestimate this guy who, of course, aesthetically looks like he is ready for his acting debut as puppet of the United States, as just recently we had a major dropout of the presidential elections, as U.S. Senator Tim Scott just announced that he will no longer be trying to be president of the United States, announcing on Fox News that he even has, quote, no plans to endorse another candidate and isn't even interested in becoming the vice president of the United States, which, with the way that things are going, why would you? Why would you want any kind of political responsibility in this latest day and age of Western civilizational collapse, where, of course, you can't even have a proper conversation and dialogue that, of course, routinely is being censored by big tech social media, as we have yet another incident of YouTube deleting a video about a major breaking news story that some online commentators like Ashley St. Clair, who just had her video taken down, believe that there might be a bigger conspiracy afoot here, which of course we will be fully discussing on Unfiltered.com, our own website, where we get to say and do whatever we want with the special broadcast only available for members right after this one. As of course, you not only just get a brand new video about issues that we cannot talk about, you also get 3 masterclasses, 150 plus instructional videos about how to be the best, strongest, most incredible version of yourselves. You get to meet other like-minded individuals. You get a store that saves you money on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. You get contest, tickets, giveaways, and in real real-life meetups, which soon we will be doing once again here in Southern Florida. If you are in the region, stay tuned, sign up, and we will be meeting, hanging out, breaking bread, as this is not just a members area, it is a way to meet like-minded individuals, to share strategies, and to talk about the most important decisions that we could be making ourselves in a day and age where, of course, being ignorant is becoming more and more dangerous to your safety and well-being. Also, don't forget to check out our channel later on today, as of course, we are going to be going live 7 p.m. Eastern here in Southern Florida with some really cool guests. Make sure to click the notification button, sign up on this platform, as we have just started to do live shows all on thebestpoliticalshow.com. More about that later on. As of course, we are growing, expanding, and doing a lot of really cool things. We really have taken things to overdrive. We are working really hard. And of course, members of LukeUnfiltered.com get to call in live, unfiltered, unscripted, with a video call to, of course, the live shows that we have started to do on many different platforms. All a part of just being a member of LukeUnfiltered.com. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. It's just 50 cents a day. Click the link right now in the description below. Fill out your information. We don't need much of it. Click right here, join, and we will see you right after this broadcast with a special video just ready for you as a member of LukeUnfiltered.com. As of course, we are not done here, as there are more tumultuous events unfolding right now in the world, specifically with the United States just launching more attacks and airstrikes in the territory of Syria on alleged Iranian facilities inside of that country that supposedly, according to some U.S. intelligence sources, have been linked to attacks against U.S. forces in the region, as the Daily Mail is calling this a, quote, significant escalation of violence in the region, as U.S. Air Force F-15E fighter jets launched retaliatory attacks against those who have allegedly launched strikes on American forces in Iraq and Syria, where Pentagon officials are documenting that there were, quote, multiple one-way drones launched from that particular region. This as just days ago, 5 U.S. Army soldiers lost their lives after a helicopter crash in the Mediterranean Sea that allegedly was an accident. I'm saying allegedly here because, again, everything we're told we have to take with a grain of salt, as of course truth is the first casualty of a global conflict that it looks like we are slowly encroaching and walking towards to. As of course, it's important to note here that the United States still has a significant military presence inside of Syria, where they are not wanted, and are essentially guarding and siphoning off the natural resources and oil from that region for who knows what kind of larger purposes here, other than a small monetary incentive here that clearly is putting American lives and soldiers at risk here. It's also important to note here that these are the same Iranian-backed militants that were fighting Wahhabist jihadists in the region not so long ago that, of course, were previously financed by Saudi Arabia and used to try to overthrow the political elected leadership of Syria in that country in a failed coup that clearly did not work and essentially did not follow the Libyan model, as of course the relations between Iran and Syria have been made stronger in response to this coup d'etat, as Iran has gained more of a sphere of influence in the region, especially after the huge vacuum of power that was left by the United States after it toppled the government of Iraq and spurred on more sectarian violence in the region, essentially creating Iran as a major influence on the region, which now has allowed them to become more prominent on the world stage and have more of a say when it comes to the unfolding of these larger conflicts that are going on right now. All of this as 60 Minutes is reporting that Iran is actually vowing to go after former U.S. government officials that were responsible for the direct assassination of Soleimani, as many high-level ranking military and government officials from the Trump administration have now had to add extra security because of potential threats and retaliatory attacks that could be happening against them in response to what was a major escalation by the Trump administration that, of course, worsened the situation in the Middle East and escalated the tensions that we are currently dealing with right now. This, as many people argue, that this administration is doing even way worse than the previous one, as there are internal State Department memos, according to Axios, that blast Joe Biden for his policy on this entire matter that's unfolding right now inside of Gaza. An internal State Department memo that even goes as far as to accuse the current president of the United States of spreading misinformation, and even alleges that Israel is committing war crimes in the region, as currently there is a memo signed by 100 State Department and U.S. aid employees, intel employees, that is urging U.S. senior officials to demand a ceasefire inside of Gaza, as of course there are very significant internal divisions within the Biden administration that clearly show a divided house here, as of course the situation in Gaza only worsens from here, as of course there's a massive humanitarian crisis unfolding in the region right now that the world is watching and paying attention to, as Israel has announced that they're actually seeking to appoint Tony Blair of all people, a horrible human being who is known for lying to his country and getting them into a pointless war in Iraq that has spurred on this massive sectarian violence and global conflict. A man many times who has been accused of having blood on his hands, and Israel is now seeking to appoint him, a major Bilderberg member, to represent Gaza's humanitarian coordinator. What? How? That as of course a lot of independent analysts are looking like this, saying, ironic, as of course there's nothing humanitarian about Tony Blair, as he is an awful politician that absolutely did his country in the Middle East no service at all, and is known for creating and wreaking havoc on that region. A region that China is having more and more of an influence over, as of course Xi Jinping and Joe Biden, if he could comprehend it, will be having a discussion specifically between the United States and China when it comes to the larger geopolitical strategic goals of both countries. That, of course, will be discussed here, as many prominent influencers are saying that they wish Donald Trump would be at this meeting and not a senile old man that, of course, could barely comprehend or speak words. As even USA Today ran a headline that was very eye-catching, to say the least, titled, "Is Trump Right About World War III? Here's Why We Should Be Worried." As, of course, the latest comments from the former president of the United States have been pretty accurate, especially when it comes to the larger perils and dangers that the world faces when it comes to these conflicts, these proxy wars, these escalations that keep happening every single day, that sadly the military-industrial complex, the corporate media, and the politicians that they have bought off keep beating the drums for every single day. This, as we're also learning that Trump actually did try to pull soldiers out of Afghanistan and Somalia, even Syria, as of course he was counteracted by his own administration and the individuals that he put into political office that just didn't listen to him. This, as we're getting new reports from an ABC News reporter talking about how Trump actually tried to pull troops out of Afghanistan and Somalia in the, quote, final chaotic days of his administration. Now, what would be his policy initiatives, especially when it comes to Iran, especially when it comes to this conflict? Well, a lot of people argue whatever it would be a lot better than what this current administration is doing. Do you agree with that statement? If you do, press 1 in the comment section below. If you disagree with it, press 2. It would be very interesting to see your comments, your perspectives on this entire matter that, of course, is unfolding right now during a key presidential election where we, of course, will be having a changing of the guard that some people say is going to be significant, to say the least. Other people say, nah, nothing's going to really change. Some people say everything will change. That debate, that conversation, plus more, all later on today on LukeUnfiltered.com. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively signing up, becoming members, and supporting independent media every single day. And because you do, that's why I am still here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively signing up, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.